Welcome back to FM Story. We're about to embark on season 3 of our save with Sporting. Let's see if we can retain the league in the Allianz Cup. We've done a bit of wheeling and dealing in the summer, so hopefully the squad's in a good position to start the season off well. Before we do get started, if you do enjoy the video, please like, comment and subscribe. And without further ado, let's get going. We're at the opening day of our third season. Although we're not playing in the league this weekend, neither ourselves nor Porto. So we do have a friendly coming up against Real Madrid. But we've done a bit of business in the transfer window this summer. We shifted some of the players out who were never going to really amount to much. We've obviously sent a lot of players out on loan, a lot of young players, and a couple of the players that were in and around the first team squad that were never going to play. The sort of headline outgoing is Zizo, who we signed for $7.5 million in January of our first season. He's now 28. He struggled a bit in the second half of last season. So when we got offered double the money that we paid for him, it seemed wise to cash in. And then in terms of what we've done in terms of incomings, we signed Leighton Clarkson on a Bosman from Liverpool, just to add a bit more depth, potential to develop a bit. But really just a bit more depth in those midfield roles. We picked up Javier Moreira from River Plate as a left back. Looks as though he could turn into a really promising left back, but obviously certainly not a one for the future. But for him to sit behind Matthias Reis and learn and develop is a really good potential. We were able to pick up Ismail Assar on a free transfer after he left Watford. And what we're probably going to find is he's probably going to start on the left-hand side and will be the main replacement for Zizo. We then picked up Manu Silva from Vitória Guimarães, who can play in a number of positions. He can play in the centre defensive we need. He's best in that defensive midfield role, or he can even play in the two in midfield as well. It's a one where he's trained in the nation as well, so he counts well for the Champions League quarters and things like that. And it seems a good deal, but plus also it sort of weakens one of our rivals in terms of teams that are challenging for European places. And then we also added another midfielder, Antonio Blanco, after his contract with Real Madrid ended. The reason we were looking for so many midfielders is towards the end of the season, last season, Menino, Morita and Mansverk were struggling tiredness-wise, especially because Shaqiri was out injured for quite a while as well. So we only had really the 4 of them for the 3 positions. We've now got plenty of options that we can rotate around. We have already had a competitive match in that we had the Super Tacker at the beginning of August against Porto. Now, this clashed with the Olympics. So we had 6 players away at the Olympics. Porto didn't have anyone away. So realistically, I think we had a pretty decent performance. Vitor Roque was the only one of our centre forwards who was not away at the Olympics. So he started through the middle, but only lasted 45 minutes before he was knackered. We moved Ismail Assar through the middle in the second half and were rewarded when he scored on his debut. Although they equalised just afterwards and it went into extra time. Now, when we went into extra time, obviously you can see there in the 95th minute, Ismail Assar got injured, twisted his ankle. We had already made all of our substitutions at that point and were forced to play without anyone up front and play with 10 men for the rest of extra time. They scored pretty quickly after that. And then just as things were, it looked like we were really struggling for the ball and really struggling to create anything. And then in injury time, at the end of the first half extra time, Moreira went down the right, pulled the ball into the middle, and Manu Silva took the ball down well and smashed it into the top corner. A brilliant goal on his debut, which levelled it up. And then we went to penalties. And when you're selecting the penalty takers, things started to appear that we were going to be in a bit of bother. Because we had one penalty taker who had over 10 for penalties. That was Marcus Edwards, who, as you can see, missed the first penalty. Everyone else had 10 or less, and they scored. But unfortunately, they scored all 5, and we lost on penalties. But given the players we had that were absent, so we were missing Thiago Tomas, we were missing Max Leonardo, So we were missing a real threat up front. I think we did well. We came away with the draw after 90 minutes and after extra time, and a promising look forward there. Hopefully, we can get quick revenge on Porto, because very much as we had last season, second and third game of the season, we've got Porto and Benfica. So we do have a particularly tough start to the season. Vitória Guimarães have been a tough team in both seasons so far. We're away at Porto and then away at Benfica, so we could be in a bit of a dodgy position towards the end of August. We are obviously into the Champions League, and this is the first season where it's the league phase of the Champions League, so we're going to have extra games in that as well. But hopefully we can kind of get off to a decent start and not do too badly in those games against Porto and Benfica. And just looking at the preview, they've got us down as 4-1 to win the title. They've got us down as third favourites behind Benfica and Porto. I mean, that's a lot closer than I think we were last season. In terms of the Media Dream 11, we've got 4 in the team. Porto have got 3, Benfica have got 3, and Braga have got 1. Although, looking at the Media Dream 11, the left back is Nuno Santos, who's only going to play left back for us if every single one of our left backs is injured or out for months. There's no way he's going to play left back other than that. But we're in a decent position. We've done a bit of work on the squad just to we've done a bit of work on the squad just to add a bit more depth, particularly in that midfield role. Like I said before, we struggled a bit towards the end of the season with players being tired, and hopefully we can get off to a good start. So we're going into the league game away at Benfica. We were supposed to have played Porto, but that game got rescheduled for Porto's Champions League qualifying round, so it's been rescheduled towards the end of September. So going into the game against Benfica, we have played one game so far in the league against Vitória Guimarães, and we came out 2-0 victors in the game. Thoroughly deserved win, but we were playing against 10 men for an hour, and really we struggled to make a breakthrough. Once we did, we added a second, but it did require quite a lot of substitutions, quite a lot of sort of tinkering a bit to get us in there. Vitor Roque eventually was playing from the left, got the opener. Thiago Thomas added a second, as we said, from close range. And a thoroughly deserved win, but we should have taken more chances, and it should have been, especially against 10 men, it should have been out of sight a lot earlier than it was. Going into the game away at Benfica, we've made one change. Nuno Santos played wide left because Ismail Assar was not fully fit after the injury picked up in the Super Taca. He didn't perform well, so we're moving Marcos Leonardo from up front to wide left, playing Thiago Thomas through in the middle. Got Ismail Assar back on the bench, and should be available for some time in the second half. But really, if we can keep it tight and nick a goal, that would be great going into this game. Right, Rafa. So Rafa had the most assists in the league last season, so we've got to try and keep him quiet. Trincão's nicked back Manswerk, back to Trincão. Thiago Thomas. Oh, and he's dragged it wide. Trincão with the free kick. Diamande at the back post. Oh, and he's hit the bar. The game had quietened down a bit. Otamendi. Mukhtar. Malacia. We've intercepted it. Can we get it clear? Trincão. Thiago Thomas, who looks like he's picked up an injury. And just Trincão. Leonardo. Offside. I don't think. That must have been pretty tight. Leonardo made the run in. He's on his way back out, but just didn't get out all the way. Right, Trincão with the free kick. Diamande at the back post. And there's the lead. That's a couple of times we've had free kicks in the same sort of area. And Diamande at the back post seems like he's overpowered there. Those two of them came from. I mean, João Mario Marquinhos a bit of a mismatch. All in all, pretty decent first half. We've obviously had the better chances and we've managed to take one. And always good to go in 1-0 in front against your big rivals away from home. So we've taken Thiago Thomas off at half-time just so we don't risk any further injury. Ismail Assar's come on and Leonardo's gone through the middle. Inacio to Rice, Ismail Assar, and he's given the ball away. Not the best to start. Right, so we've got the ball. Diamandi, Marita to Ismail Assar. Into Mansverk. Marcus Leonardo. Was the offside again? It was a lovely ball and finish onside. Oh. A lovely ball by Mansverk. He just went far too soon. And the thing is, that with the gap he got, he didn't need to go that early. Or he could do with another just to make it a bit more comfortable. But they're going to equalise here. Oh, yeah. I don't think for a second that that's offside. Just didn't clear the corner. They moved it about at the edge of the area. Rafa's shot off the base of the post. And none of the defenders reacted quickly enough. Come on. Get the ball clear. What on earth? This is a bit like last season when we were 2-1 up against 10 men and then threw it away so that Benfica could beat us 3-2. We were so in control of that game. And then 2 goals in 2 minutes. Some pretty poor performances out there as well. Yeah, definitely not good enough. Definitely need to improve going forward. We're at the end of September and we've got a big game coming up away at Porto in the league. Since the Benfica game, things have been okay. Not brilliant, but not bad either. Straight after the Benfica game, we went away to Estoril and hammered them 4-0. They had 2 shots in the whole game, and both of them were pretty late on. Really solid at the back, took the chances. Only 1-0 up at half time, and then in the second half, we really made the pressure tell with goals from Trincao, Marcos Leonardo, and a first goal for the club for Antonio Blanco. After the international break, we went away to AC Viseu, and another dominant performance. Francesco Trincao was outstanding in this game. We were 5-1 up after 38 minutes. Obviously, we took our foot off the gas in the second half, and the game ended up 5-1. But it was a really comfortable victory. 2 goals for Ismail Assar, 2 goals for Marcos Leonardo, and like I said, Trincao was the star player on the pitch. He created everything and was a constant threat down our right hand side. Following that, we went away to Bayer Leverkusen in the Champions League, and on the balance of play, we probably should have just about edged it, but going away, getting a 0-0 draw, nice and secure at the back, and a pretty decent performance, and we'll take that going into these league games, because this is one of the more difficult games we've got. As well as Leverkusen, we've got Monaco, Feyenoord, Roma, Basel, Galatasaray, and then probably our 2 toughest games are the last 2 games we've got in the league phase, which are home to Atletico Madrid and away to Man City. Following the Leverkusen game, we went away to Famalicão and I don't really know how we didn't win the game. In particular, first 20 minutes, we were outstanding. We were constant threat. We were 1-0 up from Marcus Leonardo. The game changed really on a wild lunge from Diamande in the centre circle. No need to do it. No danger at all. Just scythed right through their player. Kiefer Moore got them on level terms before half time, and we just couldn't take any chances. We weren't accurate enough. We had 26 shots, but only 9 of them on target. They dominated possession once we went down to 10 men. And it was not the best performance we've had. And then following that, we went away to Gil Vicente in the first of our group games in the Allianz Cup. Obviously, we're defending that trophy from last season. We were pretty shaky early on. We did make 10 changes. All the outfield players were players that didn't start in the previous game. So early on, we were a bit shaky, but we took the lead from Shkiri with a 30-yard daisy cutter into the bottom corner. He then scored a great header in the 40th minute. Antonio Blanco scored a lovely volley in the 41st minute to put us 3-0 up. They pulled a goal back just after half time, but we were reasonably secure. The goal they had that was disallowed for offside in the 86th minute, there was 2 of them that were a good 5 yards offside, so it wasn't really didn't really get that nervy towards the end. But it's a good start, and we've got 3 points in the Allianz Cup. And obviously, the next game up is the league game against Porto. So this is the game that both of us have got in hand. It's obviously the game that was supposed to be played in August, but was pushed back because of the qualifying games for the Champions League that Porto had. We've had a fairly similar season. Porto have won 4 of 5 and drawn the other. We've won 3 of 5, drawn 1, and then obviously lost to Benfica, who are sat in second place. Obviously, we don't want to lose. At the very worst, a draw here. It'll keep us close to the other 2 sides in Porto and Benfica. Obviously, if we lose to Porto, that immediately opens up a 6-point gap between them and us. So it's a big game, but we are away from home, and we have struggled when we've gone to Porto in the last 2 seasons. We're going into the Porto game with what on paper is our strongest team. Luckily, we had the Allianz Cup game between this game and the Famalicão game, which meant that we could get the Diamande suspension out of the way. And hopefully we've got enough to cause them some trouble at the back, but they have a very good team going forward. So we'll have to be very careful. Can't afford to concede early, and hopefully we can put in a performance. Right, they've got a free kick back. They've passed through us. Rice wins the ball, but they're attacking. Sarr gets it back. Manswerk looking for Marcus Leonardo, but it's well overhit. And we've basically just given the ball back to them. Through it. Diamande intercepts Leonardo. Ismaila Sarr's cleared on the left hand side. Can he get the ball into the box? Diakabi's got the ball for them. Pepe. White Galeno. Shift it wide well. In towards Evan Nielsen, but Rice gets the header back to Lafont. Lafont out to Diamande. Darius just drives forward to Trincao. Marcus Leonardo forces Costa to turn it behind for a corner. Realistically, that's been a pretty decent first half. We've fingers crossed, touch wood, everything like that. We've been fairly secure at the back. There's a bit of a problem in that they seem to be able to shift it past our wide players and get their fullbacks forward. But also we've caused them problems, probably more problems so far than they've caused us. Just need to keep it up for the second half now. Diamande, St. Just, Morita, and Cow. Looking Trincao, but it's gone straight to their fullback. Oh, Morita's nicked it. Thomas, Trincao. Oh! It looked like they got in each other's way and took it off their own toe. Right, Mansverk wins it. Morita gets it as well. And just Trincao, Mansverk, Menino, Thomas. Thomas! Oh, I think that's offside, but it's close. One of those ones where the defender looked like they were pushing out and Thomas going in behind. Yeah, you know what? We'll take that. I mean, we said at the start of the game that that wouldn't be the worst result. It keeps us. It keeps us same distance away from Porto. The main thing was to stop them from building up that 6 point lead at such an early stage of the season. But we'll take it. And now that we've got Benfica and Porto away from home out of the way, hopefully we can start to push on in the league. And that's the end of this episode. Season 3 underway, and not too bad a start. We've not dropped too far behind the top of the table. We've started reasonably well in the Champions League and the Allianz Cup as well. So fingers crossed, things are going well and the new players are starting to bed in. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.